Been looking forward to this video for some time. My favourite synth of all time. Moog Voyager, the Summit, my Prodigy, the Jupiter 4, they all rank highly, but not as highly as this. I'm sure not new news to many of you, the Soma Lyra 8 organismic synthesizer. Now this word sounds like one of those stupid made up words until you actually use it, because it behaves kind of like an organism. Basically, it's got 8 oscillators that go into 4, 2, and then 1. And it's this routing that creates something that is organismic, I guess, in the sense that everything affects everything else, which is what makes it so bloody difficult to use. So we trigger the oscillators by connecting these 2 contact points. You can make it slow by just gently going on here, or quick. And it's kind of a drone synth, so if you want to be selective over what oscillators are playing, you can put little coins on and that'll make the contact so that you can select which oscillators you want to drone on and which you want to maybe operate live. We've got fast and slow release, which will depend very much on the hold values up here. So at a certain level, this will start self-oscillating, and that again is a reason why maybe you'd want to put coins on and use fingers so that you're not oscillating the whole machine. Each oscillator can be tuned independent of each other, and it's quite fun to tune these up, I find. So you'll see that the oscillators pretty much are all aligned to midday, but this is a low oscillator, these 2. Middle low, middle high, and high. So let's tune these up, and you'll instantly see how organismic it is. It's a great example of how these things affect each other. Let's have a listen to those all together. So you've also got sharp buttons. Now these actually mean shape of the waveform. And you'll also see that you've got these mod controls, which don't do anything until you select what is to modulate and how much you want it to modulate by. If we put it up to 7 and 8 here, this means the oscillators 7 and 8 are going to create frequency modulation for oscillators 5 and 6 by oscillating them at that audio rate. Conversely, if we put this up to 5 and 6, 5 and 6 will oscillate 7 and 8. If we switch it down to LFO here, we've got our 2 LFOs up here, and they behave like no LFO I've ever used. We've got vibrato. If we switch all of these switches down, we're not actually going to use the LFO, we're going to switch this up to use the entire master bus to re-oscillate the instrument. LFO, master bus. We also have a delay section here. Which you can also modulate with the LFO. Or just by itself. And last but not least, drive. An organismic synthesizer, beautifully constructed, the best, highest possible quality knobs, and they're lovely and really kind of, they have a richness when you turn them, which makes tuning the thing an absolute pleasure. It's a mono out. It's got a headphone out as well. You can also put an external sound source in to use the delays, drives, and LFOs. And you've also got some external CV in as well. The only gripe I have with the Lyra is this. Is it just me, or do you not find it frustrating when you've spent about £1,000 on a synthesizer that it comes with a power supply that feels like it's from something that would accompany something you'd buy in a pound store? But all in all, I have to say, this is my favourite synthesizer of all time. And why? It's bloody expensive and impossible to use, so it suits a samplist like me, and not many people use it as a consequence. But also, I don't want the things I use to be servants to stuff that I've thought up in my head. I love them to be collaborators, and this thing throws up all of those surprises that us composers are wanting for. So, only problem with the Lyra, other than the crappy power supply, is that it's mono. What I love about unison oscillators is the kind of swarming tracking effect, spreading them across the stereo field. You can't do that with a mono synth. So I had an idea and went to Soma Laboratories to see if they had any spare. Everything's set to fast with holds down all the way. I've got the mix of the delays down fully, don't need those, and we've got drive roughly at 12 o'clock with mix at 0. These are plugged into the quartet and these are plugged into here. as I mentioned before, bloody expensive, bloody difficult to use, and, well, 6 of them is out of all of our reach. So I turned to sampling them, and this is how they came out. Thought I'd leave the door open today. It's such a glorious day. We can hear the birds singing and the apples dropping. So I've done it in EXS because that's the best chance we have of possibly someone converting it to decent sampler. It's beyond my pay grade, I'm afraid. And these are my favourite kinds of samples. We've got 3 dynamic layers, which are crossfadeable with your mod wheel, and looky here, just single Akai style samples spread across the keyboard. And let's have a listen. So this is 1 of 6. Number 2. It's a new concept in Unison, that one. But again, because of the kind of FM modulation, it finds a note the deeper you are. And 3. Too many subtones there. You would not want to see what my speakers were doing there. And number 5. I think number 1 and number 5 are my favourites. That's just showing off. But this is not the end of the story, which is another reason why you should subscribe to this channel. If I get to above 100,000 subscribers by the end of October, I'm going to do something nuts, something rogue. But you also need to keep an eye on my socials and also Spitfires, because, as I said, this is just the beginning of our Lyra adventure. Thanks ever so much for watching. Do remember to subscribe, ding that bell to be notified the next time I put a video up, and one of those to Soma Laboratories for being so generous with their spare Lyras. I'll be sure to return them in pristine condition very soon. And as a prize to those of you staying till the end, links below for the Lyra Sextet pack. It's going to be fat, it's going to be juicy, and I can't wait to hear what you do with it. See you next time.